My 29 meters wife 28F confessed to cheating on me years ago on the night before our wedding, but she pregnant now, and it been so long I'm unsure what to do. So my wife and I got married when we were 23 to 24. Since getting married she's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Anyway, she recently announced to me she is pregnant now, which should have been incredible news, but the day after she made her announcement to me she said, "We need to talk." When she sat me down she told me the night before our wedding she was having anxieties about the wedding, and our friend, who was also my best man apparently, helped her calm down. She said they had a couple of drinks and one thing led to another. I have not yet confronted him about it. The night before the confession we literally had him over for dinner. I'm staying at my parents' beach house right now. I just had to remove myself from everyone and everything to figure out what I want to do. I love my wife, and I want to forgive her for our baby. Update. My 31M wife 27F had an affair with her coworker 27M. First post. ****, my 31M wife 27F had an affair with her coworker 27M. https://www.reddit.com/r/relationship_advice comments 16xm5vs my 31 meters wife 27f had an affair with her coworker https://www.reddit.com/r/relationship_advice/comments 16xm5vs my 31M wife 27F had an affair with her coworker /closing parenthesis. Preface ***. Thank you all for your comments. I read every single one. I was in denial as they all started rolling in, and I was honestly looking for people to tell me that it would be fine and that they had been through similar situations. The posters could see I was in denial, and some broke it gently while the others were harsher. Honestly, I needed both. Ultimately, you guys were right. It shouldn't matter if they had sex. The gaslighting and the emotional affair were enough. Her true colors came out when she got caught, and I will never see her the same way again. Update ***. After staying up all night reading comments on the couch, I got dressed and went to work. I left work at lunch and met up with my older brother, 35M, and his wife 36F. They had thought the world of this girl but agreed with everything you guys had said. We talked for hours and I spent a lot of it crying. They were furious I didn't come to them sooner, but I think she had intentionally been isolating me from talking to people that were close to me about it. All my therapist did was echo what I wanted to hear, but the second I talked to them, things started to click. I called my best friend while at my brother's and he had the exact same reaction. I decided I was done and getting divorced. I texted my wife that I wouldn't be coming home. She started lighting up my phone with messages and phone calls, but I ignored them. My brother and I both called in sick for work the next day, played video games and day drank. He wanted me to just drop her and move on, but part of me wanted the whole truth. I knew she would never tell me the truth, so I got creative. In the middle of the day, I called the number for the affair partner that was in the email. I knew he would lie, but I told him. She came clean and said you guys only had sex once and that it was a mistake, and all I wanted was to hear his version and that I would leave him alone. He was clearly panicked and immediately agreed, confirmed it was only once and a mistake, but wouldn't give me a day event when I pressed. He said he was blocking my number and whatever, but this was a start. My brother was curious how one of her coworkers had my email and that it didn't make sense. This wasn't a publicly listed work email, it was a personal one. So mindlessly started going through my inbox and found old emails from a rec league sports team I organized a couple years ago for my friends, and my wife had invited one of her really close female coworker friends and their partner to join. She had my email and could have sent it to me. My brother was telling me to stop cause this was bordering on crazy, but my blessed Sil was egging me on. I called into their work and asked for the coworker's cell, identifying myself as wife's husband, and it was for a social reason. They gave it to me. Once work hours were over, I gave her a call. Told her that the affair partner had come clean and that I think she emailed me. She immediately admitted to it, said she hated not approaching me in person but was terrified to do so and thought I might snap at her. She didn't care if anyone at work or if my wife found out. She was just grateful that I wanted to hear the truth. I thanked her for reaching out and said I couldn't talk to the affair partner again and just wanted to hear her side of the story to tell my lawyer. She said she had gone no contact with my wife, and confirmed that my wife had an affair in extensive detail. They had sex anytime I was out of town or anytime I was working late overnight, both of which happened multiple times a month, and that it started weeks after our wedding. My wife had essentially been bragging about it to this coworker friend in very graphic detail. When asked why she wouldn't leave me, my wife talked about how comfortable her life was, how much money I made, and that other people thought I was good looking. This caused the coworker to snap and cut off ties. The coworker desperately wanted me to find out and was horrified by the situation because she had been cheated on before and that my wife was aware of that. She said friend X, Y and Z also knew. This felt like a betrayal because X and Y had known me for so long that I considered them my own friends. They were at our house multiple times a month. I wanted to call X and Y but Sil stopped me. She thought they would give my wife a heads up and said I might enjoy catching her in another lie. I slept in my brother's for a second night and sent a text that I'd be home at 10 a.m. tomorrow to my wife. I went home. She was waiting, asked me what was going on and that she had been worried sick and was anxious and was furious. I told her the affair partner came clean. You guys had sex when I was gone for weekend X in month X. She broke down, said it was just the once, she loved me, couldn't admit to it because I would leave her and that I was better than the other guy in every way. I think this was what trickle truth meant in some of the comments on the old post. Then I asked her to promise it was just the once and she did. She said she was desperate to move on from this, have kids, continue with our comfortable life. I should let it go etc. Things got quiet and I kind of just started laughing. I saw her for who she really was. I told her I knew the whole truth, told her about some of what I had heard and was only here to grab my things and take our pet dog. She was in disbelief, screamed at me and locked herself in the washroom. I packed a to-go bag and have been at my brother's since. Meeting with a lawyer later. Shout out to my brother, Sil and the coworker who came through. Fuck cheaters. To be clear, I understand that the emotional affair and kissing should have been enough to end things. I had just been in this fog with constant lying and fighting. For some reason my brain latched on to this idea that they never had sex and that somehow meant we still had a chance. My wife made me feel like if I could just get over a kiss, things would be fine. Getting the truth certainly made it much easier to see her for what she is, on to rebuilding and moving on. I'm also getting a new therapist cause the old one should have helped me see the gaslighting, trickle truth and manipulation for what it was. TLDR, my 31M wife, 27F, had an affair with her coworker, 27M. She had gaslit me into thinking it was just an emotional affair with some kissing. In reality it was a very long-standing and physical affair that started weeks after we got married. I only found out about because a coworker emailed me and my Sil as a supportive badass who encouraged me to stir the pot. Edit. Oh, and I should have trusted my gut when I first read the texts. The coworker confirmed they had been sexting and exchanging nudes regularly. Trust your gut, people.